Man, what a tough loss for the Washington Commanders. They fall to 2-2, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles 34-31. What a close game. We'll be recapping it in today's video and talking about whose fault it was. If you guys are new, please subscribe, hit that like button and the notification bell. Also, guys, today is the last day to enter the Sign Jahan Dotson and Sign Sam Howell jersey giveaway. All you got to do is download this app. Link in the description. I'll announce the giveaway winner tomorrow. Okay. Let's get into it. So a really tough loss, man. They were really in it, and early on they were winning. I think it was 14-7, something like that. And then, in the third quarter, the Eagles come back, and then in the fourth quarter, the Commanders start to come back. And that last drive was amazing. And they, Sam Howell throws a really nice pass to Jahan Dotson for the touchdown with zeros on the clock. That was amazing. Then Joey Sly makes the extra point. We got lucky, though, because I liked what Eric Bieniemy did today, but his play call, the one before that, was just awful. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but Sam Howell throws it to, it was either Byron Pringle or Curtis Samuel, right away. And if he would have caught it, the game would have been over, and he was 4 or 5 yards short. That was terrible. But the next play, they threw it to Jahan Dotson finally in the red zone. He makes the play. Just a great drive there at the end. Sam Howell had a good day, man. 29 for 41. So, basically probably 74%, 73%, a touchdown, no interceptions, and then had 40 rushing yards. He had a good game today, man. He didn't make a ton of mistakes. Took a couple sacks that he didn't need to, and almost an interception in the red zone, but I think he had a good day overall. I really do think he had a good day. A really good bounce back game from last week, against the Bills to this week against the Eagles. He had a really good game. So just want to give Sam Howell his props for what he did today. He hung in there and had a pretty good game. He does still have to get rid of it a little bit earlier, but I do want to give him his flowers. Robinson was okay, and then, McLaurin had a good day, and some other guys did as well that we'll get into, but that was unfortunate, man. In overtime, we get the ball first and make, I think it was a 4 or 5 yard play again, and then Howell throws a absolute dime to Terry McLaurin, and I thought it looked like, from what I saw, he was barely in. I thought he was in, but they called it on the field incomplete. And I don't know if there was clear and obvious evidence, but from my perspective, I thought he caught it. But it was just difficult to tell, but it's really unfortunate because that would have been a first. We would have probably been in field goal range. We might end up getting the touchdown later on, but that was unfortunate. And then Tress Way, man, usually you can rely on him. Today, that was a terrible punt. Part of the blame goes on Tress Way today. Honestly, it does. I'm trying to see his punts. Averaged 42.6 yards a punt. One of those punts was awful at the end there. I don't know how long it was, but it was 35, 40 yards. And yeah, that was bad, man. That was bad, and that cost us. They were basically in field goal range. And then another thing that cost us, Jack Del Rio playing these guys 10 yards back from the receivers. So giving these guys every time, if they want to give A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith 7-8 yard completions. And that's partly what happened there on the, third down play where they got, it's 3rd and 17. They get 9 yards or 8-9 yards. I think it was 9 yards. And they got into field goal range. If they would have gotten 3-4 yards, that's close to a 60-yard field goal instead of a 54-yard field goal. And yeah, man, that was bad. And I know people don't like when I talk about Emmanuel Forbes because when I, first reacted to him getting drafted, I didn't like the pick. But Emmanuel Forbes got torched today. There's no other way to put it. If you're defending him in the comments saying he had a good game, I'm sorry, he just didn't. A.J. Brown had 9 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was basically all against A.J. Brown. And I think Jack Del Rio deserves part of the blame because you saw your rookie was getting cooked, and you kept him on A.J. Brown. You should have put Kendall Fuller on him. I mean, A.J. Brown is just way bigger than Emmanuel Forbes. But the thing is, he wasn't beating him in terms of, let me catch a screen pass and just run through Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, he did that a couple of times, but he was beating him on those double moves. Emmanuel Forbes was biting on them, and then he just got dusted, man, twice for a touchdown. And honestly, the one at the end, I mean, I know he didn't want to get dusted. He didn't want to do that. He didn't do that on purpose, but that ended up helping us because I think they would have kicked a field goal with about 20, 30 seconds left. and or maybe even less, maybe with like 1 or 2 seconds left, and we would have lost the game. And we still ended up losing it, but he got the touchdown with like 1 minute 40 seconds left, and we're able to score a touchdown because of that. So obviously a terrible play there by Emmanuel Forbes, but it ended up helping us out in the long run. Let's see. There was a roughing the passer on a play. I honestly wasn't looking when that happened, so I didn't see, but that could have ended up costing the Commanders because we lost by what? We lost by, we didn't. It was tied at the end of it was tied at the end of regulation, and if they didn't get that 2-point conversion, it would have been, we would have had 1 more point than them, but that was unfortunate, man. Emmanuel Forbes did not play well today. He was a big part of the reason we lost. I would say him, Jack Del Rio, Tress Way was in there as well. I know Jahan Dotson redeemed himself, but like he dropped a pass on 3rd down that would have gotten us 1st down, and we probably could have scored on that drive. And then the next drive, they score, I think, a touchdown. And Jahan Dotson got targeted 9 times, so to only come away with 4 catches, 27 yards. I don't know how many of those targets actually were like good targets. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's got to play better than that. Terry had I can't say really because I don't know where those targets were going. That drop was bad, but the touchdown at the end was clutch. Good play design by Bieniemy, good throw by Howe, good route by Jahan. I thought Curtis Samuel had a good game, man. 7 catches, 51 yards. Also had a rushing touchdown like that play call there by Bieniemy. Shout out De'Ami Brown, man, stepping up. Got targeted 3 times, but hey, 2 catches, 51 yards. And then Terry, good day, 8 catches, 86 yards, 10 targets, drew a couple PIs as well. Byron Pringle was in there. Don't know why, but hey, he made a nice catch and then got targeted at the end there. Bates got a couple targets, and I thought, again, Logan Thomas had a solid day. Cole Turner, no targets today. And then Brian Robinson had a couple catches, and then Gibson had a really nice catch on 3rd down that Hal threw it a little bit behind him, but it was a tough play because he was, going on the run, throwing on the run, and then Gibson made a nice catch. And he also had a couple nice runs as well. But on the stat sheet, it doesn't look great. 6 carries for 19 yards, but overall, it was, I thought he had some nice runs. And a huge shout out to Mojo Fantasy for sponsoring this video. They recently just launched a new, cool, exciting, and innovating app called Mojo Fantasy, and you're basically going up against your friends or other NFL fans or other NFC East fans instead of against the books, which not a lot of other apps offer, which is really, really cool. And it's kind of like the stock market as well. You can pull in and out of a bet whenever you want, which is something that I really, really appreciate. And I am giving away a Jahan Dotson jersey, a Sam Howell jersey, and both of those are signed, and some tickets. So if you guys want to enter in that, comment that you download the app. Just download this app right here. I will put the link in the description and the comment section. That's all you got to do, and say I'm done in the comment section. And yeah, man, just go ahead and do it, and shout out Mojo. Oh yeah, but back to the video. The defense today, man, they really didn't step up, and this is a good offense, so I understand they gave up, a decent amount of points, but I thought they could have played better. Like, the offense put up 30-plus points against this team. The defense needed to step up. We didn't force any turnovers, did we? I don't think we did. So that was another thing. These DBs, like Emmanuel Forbes, not only was he getting beat, he did have a nice pass breakup, but like he had a couple opportunities for interceptions, and it was just unfortunate. I'm trying to see on defense, Cam Curl, I guess he had a sack. And then I'm trying to see who else. Jamin Davis had a tackle for us. I thought early on he had a really good game, but then at the end, or like right after I tweeted out he had a good game, then he had a penalty, and then I remember it was either 4th quarter overtime, he had a terrible, terrible angle. It might have been overtime on DeAndre Swift, where it should have been like a 1-yard, 2-yard gain. It turned out to be a 10, 11-yard gain. That was really bad by Jamin Davis. Just a bad angle there. Jonathan Allen had a sack. He just forced Jalen Hurts out of bounds. Wasn't like, it counts as a sack on the stat sheet, but like it was just more enforcing out of bounds, like the whole D line. And then Chase Young, I thought Chase Young had a pretty good game. Had a sack, 3 tackles, 2 solo tackles. So shout out Chase Young. I thought he had a pretty good game. And let's see, Quan Martin had a tackle. I don't know if that was on special teams or not. Gibson had an okay return. It was 15 yards back, but did think he had a good return. Crowder had one good return, but then he had just a boneheaded decision. He fair caught it. He clearly fair caught it inside the 10, and he ended up starting to run. I guess he thought he didn't, but he definitely did. Joey Sly was fine. I mean, 4 for 4 and 1 for 1. Nothing crazy, but he didn't miss, and the operations seemed good. And then Tress Way definitely gets like a can kick or whatever. He was a dud today. You can't have a punt like that, like especially at the end of the game, overtime, game on the line. We need you not only to just do a solid punt, we need an amazing punt, and we get a bad punt, and that was just bad. No punts inside the 20 either. So I think the special teams has been really bad this year. Not only the field goal operation, the coverage has been bad on kick and punt returns. I mean, he averaged 13 yards a return and had 3 returns for 38 yards. And then, the punt returning, kick returning hasn't been great either. So, I don't know. That's something you definitely got to work on. But obviously, it's a tough loss. You would like to get this win. But I thought they responded really well to last game. I thought it was a really balanced, run and passing game that they had. 28 rushes and then 29 passing attempts. 29 catches. So, 41. But, I think that's a solid ratio. The Eagles had 37 passes to 27 rushes. So I really liked Eric Bieniemy's the game he called. I thought he had a good one, except for I think they're getting a little bit too cute with the Logan Thomas rushing attempts. They had the one that worked, and then after that they had the illegal formation that was, I don't know. I don't think you need to do it again. Andrew Wiley is awful. He allowed a sack, at least 1 sack, maybe 2 sacks, had at least 1 or 2 false starts. He was bad, and honestly, I would probably bench him. I would. He's awful. He's awful, and I think it's the only debate is he is under contract for a few more years, or a couple more years, but he's bad, and I think I would consider benching him and putting him Cornelius Lucas or moving him inside and Cosme to the right. Cosme was getting beat as well. Jalen Carter was amazing. Fletcher Cox was good. I mean, this is a good team. I don't want to say the moral victories. I still feel sick. We lost the game. We should have won that game. But you competed against a powerhouse. And hey, this Bears game next week, that game, even though you're 2-2, that's a must-win game. You got to win that game. But I do feel better about this team. Sam Howell looked good. Probably give him a B+ grade-ish. I mean, it's not going to be an A because he wasn't outstanding. He did miss some throws. I forgot about that. There was one throw to Terry where Terry was open. It would have been a long touchdown. He overthrew him by a lot. There was a couple other of those plays. Diami got a nice target downfield where he was underthrown. Could have called a PI there, but they didn't. And I think that there was, he had a couple of those misses and then took a couple too many sacks and some other misses, but he had a good day overall. I really do think he had a good day overall. Again, close to 300 yards passing, had a touchdown, no turnovers. He did get sacked 5 times, but he didn't fumble any of those. Brian Robinson had a fumble at the goal line. I mean, that was a tough run. He broke 3 or 4 tackles, and then Terry ended up making the recovering it. Robinson had a solid day overall. I know the yards per carry aren't great, but a couple of those plays were blown up. But that touchdown run was really nice, 15 yards there. And yeah, man, offense overall was good today. Defense wasn't great, and that, it starts with Emmanuel Forbes there. He has to play better. And then Jack Del Rio, maybe it starts with Jack Del Rio because he's got to understand Forbes not having a good day. He's going up against A.J. Brown. He's getting cooked. Switch him off him. I mean, he allowed a nice play to Devontae Smith too. I mean, it was a nice catch, but if he got a hand on it at all, it would have been an incomplete pass. But it is what it is. I don't want to dog on Emmanuel Forbes too much because I know what the comments will say. But just remember what I said on draft day on who I wanted. There's still a lot of time. We just finished week 4, so Emmanuel Forbes can end up being a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame type player, and Christian Gonzalez could be not great in a couple years, but right now it's not looking good. But again, very, very early. But yeah, man, it's a tough loss, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens next week against the Bears. I will be at that game. They better get the win, and not only get the win, convincing win. Peace, guys.